Hello, everybody. This year, July 2nd, 2019, the hurricane outlook and discussion for the Atlantic Basin. Currently, we have no new tropical cyclones are expected in the next 5 days. We also have currently no active tropical cyclones either, and that's thanks to a large amount of Saharan dust, which is flowing off the coast of Africa, which has drastically suppressed most activity this year, which is a really good thing because, that means no tropical cyclones, no hurricanes, which can hit land, but eventually that will dissipate, and when that does, the hurricane season's gonna get started up, get ramped up, and that's when you go see those damaging tropical cyclones develop and those hurricanes, which is definitely something to watch. And we have to remember that it is hurricane season. It only takes one. So get a plan together, be prepared, know where to go, trust you, look at what's looking for, what's happening, be prepared. It is hurricane season. It really only takes one. So it also serves as a good reminder that it is hurricane season. And looking at the eastern North Pacific, we of course have Hurricane Barbara, which currently by the 11 a.m. advisory issued by the National Hurricane Center has maximum sustained winds of 140 miles per hour, a minimum central pressure of 945 millibars, as moving west-northwestward at 13 miles per hour. We also have an area of low pressure which is forecast to develop later this week off the southern coast of Mexico, which has about a 0% chance of forming in the next 48 hours and a 7% chance of forming in the next 5 days. Look at sea surface temperatures in the Atlantic. Most of the Atlantic is actually running above or at average, so it's at or above average right now, which is a sign that it's hurricane season. The Atlantic's warming up. Once you get that wind shear that dissolves, once you get the dust that just dissipates, we're gonna see that's when you can see those hurricanes develop. That's when you can see those damaging storms develop. So be prepared. Most of the Gulf is running, pretty above average, which is a very damaging thing. But because the Gulf can sustain a hurricane really any time of the year. The main developed region, is running about 28 degrees Celsius, probably a little bit more, 26, 24, 20. So, it's about 80 degrees Celsius, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, I mean. So most of the land, so this entire area, it's running at around 80 degrees or more Fahrenheit, which is a sign that it can support a hurricane. A hurricane is able to form in 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So once you get those factors I talked about out of the way, you see hurricanes forming. You see tropical cyclones forming. That's when you see those forming. It's hurricane season. Be prepared. I mean, the Gulf Stream is running above 28 degrees Celsius. That's strong enough to develop to support a hurricane. Of course, we had Hurricane Florence hit North Carolina last year thanks to that warm water. And we had Hurricane Michael over here hit the Panhandle thanks to as Category 5, only the fourth one on record to hit the United States. So because of that warm water, I mean, if you have that happen again, we could see potentially damaging effects for hurricanes this season. Looking at the GFS model for the United States currently at this time and North Atlantic, we currently have nothing to look at. We have no disturbances. We just have a little area of high pressure right here in just a little extra tropical, the little cold fronts, in the northern latitudes, just some rainfall, of course, by the equator, which is to be, it's pretty active and inactive and quiet overall. So there's nothing to watch out right now, but that could change super easily. If you look about a week to 10 days out, we see really nothing really develop organized developing area overall. So some high pressure and possibly a couple tropical disturbances and waves flowing off the coast of Africa, but none of them organized and become an area something that will form or become a threat to any land or coastal areas. So nothing is looking developed and strong enough at this time to create or cause a tropical cyclone or hurricane. So right now the hurricane it's pretty quiet. So right now it's generally you don't have to worry about anything at this moment. But looking a month out, 2 months out, 3 months out, we're gonna be seeing huge amount. Like we can see a definitely much increased amount of activity. So I mean, if you live the Gulf Coast, southeastern coast of the United States, just be prepared. Know what's happening. Like it only takes one. Like always, just have a consistent plan in place. Look at El Nino forecast for the next 3 months for June issue this month. There's about 66% chance that El Nino will continue from June to August, and about 50 to 55% is going to continue throughout the winter. And most models actually, like have a continuation of it being through El Nino through a considerable amount of time, with like only really one model dropping it below an El Nino status. So it's probably like it's not gonna get any stronger. There's definitely signs that it's weakening, but we're not gonna be seeing a type of El Nino seen in 2015. We're not gonna be seeing a type of La Nina that we saw in 2017. So it's about probably a weak El Nino to neutral conditions, which I mean, an El Nino means suppressed activity in the Atlantic and boost activity in the Pacific. And La Nina means suppressed activity in the Pacific and boost activity in the Atlantic. And just going back, you see a 66% chance of El Nino continuing through June and August, decreasing to a 50 to 55% for continuing through fall and winter. Hurricane names for 2019. We've already hit one storm, subtropical storm Andrea, which is very short-lived and very weak, which formed in May 20th this year, which it was pretty weak. Subtropical storm Andrea, it was pretty ill-defined. It had cold water. There was really not much chance for it becoming anything else. We also have Barry, Chantel, Dorian, Aaron, Ferdinand, Gabrielle, Humberto, Imelda, Jerry, Karen, Lorenzo, Melissa, Nestor, Olga, Pablo, Rebecca, Sebastian, Tanya, Van, and Wendy. So, it's hurricane season. It's time. Be prepared. Even if you're not likely to see a hurricane, it only takes one, and there's an infinite amount of possibilities each year. Yeah, so to look at sea surface anomalies, temperatures in the Atlantic, the Gulf is running above average, Caribbean's running above average, the subtropics are, below average, but you don't likely see much activity in the subtropics last year, but even though last year we had quite a few subtropical storms, the most on record in the Atlantic basin, about 7. So, but besides that, even if you have a system that forms in subtropics, it's not likely to produce anything strong or be much stronger. Most activity be in the main developed region, which is currently running above average. So that's definitely worrisome going forward in the future. Look at the 2019 Atlantic hurricane season outlook issued by NOAA. It has about a 40% chance of a near normal season, a 30% chance of a below normal season, and a 30% chance of an above normal season. It's called for 9 to 15 named storms, 4 to 8 hurricanes, and 2 to 4 major hurricanes. If you on the upper side of the storm, 15 named storms, 8 hurricanes, 4 major hurricanes, that would definitely have a pretty high accumulated cyclone energy with AC in broader terms. So it just depends, like what side of the forecast does it lie on? Does it lie on a really below average season or an above average season? It just depends where it forms at. Because we've had years where like they call for below average activity, they had above average activity. We've had seasons where it called for above average activity and it featured below now average activity. So it depends. Like it's still early. There's still time. You never really know until it happens. So there's still some time, but this forecast looks a lot like last year. In 2018, of course, we had Florence in 18, which made landfall as Category 1 with 90-mile-per-hour winds and dropped copious amounts of rain in Wilmington and surrounding areas. And, of course, had Hurricane Michael, which made landfall on Mexico City Beach with 160-mile-per-hour winds. And it was only the 4th Category 5 hurricane ever to make landfall in the United States on record. Look at the Ghost 16 satellite. We have, if you look, we have mostly dry air coming up. You can see it coming off the coast of Africa, in the Caribbean, kind of spilling in the Gulf of Mexico. We also see like kind of some of the dry air even getting into the Pacific as well. That's how much of the Saharan dust there actually is. So I mean, if that, and of course, there's always dust, but like there's a lot that's been distributed over the Atlantic this year, which has suppressed activity. Of course, we had a little flare up in the Gulf, which is just a high pressure system, which has been delivering a lot of rain for Louisiana, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi. So it's mostly just not a lot of things in the Atlantic which have been worth looking at yet. Yet, of course, you of course have Hurricane Barbara to the left of the screen, which is a very, very well defined and really has an amazing satellite presentation. Could be a Category 5, could be near Category 5, based on just calling for that. But besides that, the Atlantic is pretty dry and there's nothing to look at yet. But it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time. It really is a matter of time. Of course, look at water vapor for the Atlantic. Again, looking at this little high pressure system which was affecting the Gulf Coast states today. Let's quote something, but just look at all this dry air in the Caribbean, and even like reaching out like the Carolinas, Virginia, like Connecticut. Like, I mean, like if you look at that, like that's a lot of dry air to be that far up. That's a copious amount of dry air. It really is. It's a huge amount of dry air which is flowed off the coast of Africa, and even in like the Pacific. Like look how much dry is even in the Pacific because of that. I mean, it's so much dry air and dust, but like all things, it will eventually dissipate, and that's when you're gonna see that activity starting to ramp up, and get that some intense storms, get those hurricanes, get those major hurricanes. So it's only a matter of time. You have to prepare because it is hurricane season. It only takes one, and you have to be really prepared for any type of storm, no matter what the effects may be. Storm surge, high winds, heavy rainfall, and there's a slew of things that may happen with the hurricane. So this has been your July 2nd, 2019 Hurricane Outlook and discussion for the Atlantic Basin. I hope to see you soon, and remember to subscribe down below, and make sure to like the video. Goodbye.